When I'm walking down the
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
Take my hat
I'm
off.
from South Carolina, so I just...
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart,
Happy 20th anniversary.
my heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? John.
And dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
The doctor lived next door to the janitor to the reverend and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all and more.
letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. We have with us the one and only Marcy Hughes. Good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody?
All right, all right, all right.
I'm so glad you're pumped.
Yeah.
So what's going on in your neck of the woods?
I got my new Morgan State mug.
Right on. I'm so proud of you, brother. You know what? You're going to make me go back to college.
The Holy Spirit gonna make you go back.
That's probably the best way to say that.
People the age of your they the age of your grandchildren unborn. Boy was in the financial aid line. He was born in 2005. I looked at myself like 2005.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I think it's really important, and I'm really excited for you.
To be 18 again.
That's been so long ago for me. My goodness. I'm just glad to take every day. Good morning, Mr. Hall.
How many years ago was that for you?
That was 1970. And I left.
Man,
I didn't want to go to that college, and they made me go, and I left.
You ain't been to school since the Civil Rights Movement.
Correct. I left. I left right after the holiday, right after Christmas. I left.
Marsha, I'm gonna put the link over here. We got Gwen Levi in the hey Gwen, there's the link right there. You want to come on in here? We're not gonna tell them what happened to our guests, are we?
No, because we don't know.
A lot of people looking forward to talking to Dr. Tyrone Taborn. Who is Tyrone Taborn to you?
Oh gosh. Well, first of all, he's my brother from another mother, for real. His mother and I have a
You
good
say that about everybody. You know what?
Yeah, but I actually know his mother, and I can call her on the phone. And
you said that about me.
I
You
know.
said that,
I didn't say that. You are my brother from another mother, but
that is not.
You are. You
that
are.
Is not authentic.
And I can have more than one brother from another mother. So
yeah, but the line is old. The line is old.
It's not old to me. I'm old, so I can say old stuff. Don't be messing with me.
No, you can't. Not on this show.
I can do whatever I want to do. You asked me to come on. I'm minding my own business. I was in my bed. I was asleep. And what? You said, come on. We're going to do this. I'm here.
No, actually, I sent you the email hours ago.
Yeah, well, that was at dark 30 this morning.
Dave, click the link. We want to have a family discussion, Dave.
Oh dear.
I don't think you can call two people your brother from another mother in the same conversation on the same show and it be considered genuine.
Well, you know what? I can do what I want to do
You
because
know, it's
I'm
like
grown.
A Pepsi with no
No, that's
fizz.
just like different people have different fathers. Come on, get out my face. I
It's
ain't
like a
trying to hear
Pepsi
that.
the next day with no fizz. And you drinking it like it's good. No, it's not.
Mm. So anyway, how did it work out with you when after you did your first experience there, the first time you stepped into the classroom? How'd you feel about that?
It was all online.
Oh, that's great. This online stuff is really making it happen. I tell you, COVID showed us the way. Okay.
What's up, Gwen?
Good morning, all. Hello.
How
Good
you doing?
morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great this morning. Blessed. Yes.
That's
Mm-hmm.
good. Gwen, you looking pretty fly there.
I don't know why. That's the way he wake me up. Ready.
That's all right.
Well, you stay ready though. So that's not new for you, Miss Gwen, right?
We got so much is going on in our city, Baltimore, man. So much is going on, Donnie. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna come on with I'm gonna come on one day and do a show just to tell you what's all going on in Baltimore from my point of view.
Well,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
mm-hmm.
So share a little bit of it with us now, Gwen.
March on Washington last weekend.
When did you cut your hair?
No, I got it wrapped.
Oh, okay.
No, indeed. No, it's still there. I just got it wrapped. I haven't put it in the ponytail yet.
Okay.
It's raining today outside. It's kind of drizzly,
Thanks for coming out to our Black Wall Street events, Gwen.
Thanks for you having these events, Donnie. I met people that I didn't even know exist. Like I said, just coming home, you are the man to know. I've met so many good people through you and through coming to your events. I've met people that I'm following up with. That's the good networking, man. You provide one of the best networking sources in the city.
I tried to tell them,
But
but they
you
don't listen.
do. You bring people from all different aspects, all different avenues, from the streets to the politics to like they say, from the poorhouse to the White House. You bring them. Yeah.
I should
Yeah.
start charging, shouldn't I? How
Well,
much should I charge them?
you could. You could.
All right, nice guys.
But listen, let me tell you about the March on Washington.
Come on with it.
It was awesome. As a person who went when I was like, I think I was 17 or 18. Yeah, to the first march, and to return 60 years later, Donnie, was powerful to say the least. I went with an organization, National Action Network. They provided don't even want to talk. Anyway, I went with National Action Network, the newly being formed chapter. Something happened here in Baltimore. That's a whole nother story. I don't want to get into that. But there's a new chapter being formed, the Baltimore Community Chapter.
Who runs?
And a lady named Marion Summers, very, very adept lady, very organized. I met her when I went to New York for the National Action Network conference. Baltimore chapter provided buses. Since then, that chapter has shut down, and they're reorganizing this new chapter.
Why shut down, Gwen?
I I'm not all into the politics of that, but
Let me tell you this, Gwen. Let me tell you this. It's never the celebrity, it's always the entourage. It's never the celebrity, it's always the entourage. There's always a clown somewhere in that circus.
Well, like I say, I don't air dirty laundry, and it's dirty. Find out from some other sources, maybe Miss Summers and Mr. Larry Young, you might need to invite both of them to come to your show.
What's up, Chad? How you doing, buddy?
But anyway, we went. Let me tell you how we got there. We got there courtesy of another organization. Our bus never showed up for National Action Network at Coppin. It never showed up. Come to find out, there wasn't a bus sent to us. The bus was sent to the chapter that closed down. Anyway, we got to Washington as a guest of the Baltimore Brunch Crunch.
That is crazy.
Listen, don't worry about that. We got to the march. Let me tell you how we got to the march. Our bus never showed up. There was a great big old shiny bus parked on Coppin's lot. We thought it was the bus for us. It wasn't. Come to find out, it's the bus that belongs to an organization that called the Baltimore Brunch Crunch Group. They are awesome. Mr. Tony Ward was there. I had met him in New York. He said he saw our dilemma, and he said, we got space on that bus. You all can ride with us. Guess what? We got to Washington, D.C., Donnie. That's the good news. I'm not talking about nothing there. That's the good thing. Because of this, another group, the Baltimore, I can't say their name enough, the Baltimore Brunch Crunch Group. Mr. Tony Ward and his members and followers, they were there. They invited us. They gave us space on the bus. They shared their food. We shared our food that we had prepared going over there. They had a picnic ready. When we got there, I mean, the hospitality was so great. And then when we got there, to see all the people from all around the country, around the country at this march.
Let me get a word in. I am reminded. What's up, Chad? How you doing?
Good morning, brother Donnie. Good morning, sis.
Good morning.
I'm reminded that if God gives you the vision, He will give you the provision.
Amen.
Yes.
No matter what clown in whatever circus attempts to close that door, no man can close a door that God didn't open. And no man can open a door that God didn't close.
And God opened it. Yes.
Shame on them clowns who got in the way, and big ups to Mr. Tony Ward. But that was your ride anyway.
Evidently, it was. He was there waiting for us, looks like.
Chap, what you been up to, Chap?
I'm listening to this young lady, man. I would have loved to been on the bus ride and hear some of the conversations. Y'all know y'all had a great time, man. That's a wonderful story.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Baltimore, they were commemorating the desegregation of Gwen Oak Park. Do you remember that, Gwen?
Yes. I missed that Sunday. I had some sick friends I had to visit.
No, I mean, do you remember when they wouldn't let black people in Gwen Oak Park?
Of course. I'm 78 years old. You know I remember.
What was going on? Tell me about the vibe back then.
Well, I was a little girl, so I can't tell you too much. I really don't know too much about it. What I heard about it was from family members mostly, so.
Chap, how does that make you feel? 60th anniversary of people being normal.
Well, almost, right?
Almost.
I feel like at that point what they did was they gave us a shell and framework of civil rights, but the way to bypass actually empowering people was that they created these policies and they created these titles and these boards for different stuff. But where was the money? Where is the money? That's kind of how they satiate. I feel like in City Hall and in the politics, they satiate us by okay, they give us policy, they give us a board of people to represent whatever initiative, and then they they sidestep it by not actually giving it any budget. And I've been experiencing that. We had a meeting last night over Oliver with the commissioner and the mayor. And, you know, part of a deeper conversation we need to have is that, you know, now that the new acting commissioner is taking over, he's refocusing efforts on proactive policing. It all sounds good, but even when Chief Melvin Russell was doing the proactive policing, they gave him the title, they gave him a unit, but they gave him zero resources. And so he had to rely heavily on relational equity in the community to actually do programs like the reentry program, the Explorers program, the chaplain program. So they'll give us titles and names of things to keep us quiet, but they won't actually give us funding to leverage those positions. So there's no real authority.
I can tell you this: they locking up people on the streets of Baltimore.
No, crime is down. They say crime is down. Are you sure?
Oh, they locking people up.
Listen, Donnie, I came home in 2020. I very seldom saw a police car in Baltimore City.
They doing stops and everything.
Since this election, every police car I've seen was parked, smoking, watching, just observing, talking, doing whatever they do, sitting in their cars.
Plain clothes out there now.
Since this election, I've seen everybody and every kind of police that you want to see out on the streets, and you are right, they are arresting, they're cleaning people from out in front of these gas stations. They doing a whole lot here lately. I just hope that they have some alternative programs instead of locking some of these young kids up.
Well, let me say this, Miss Gwen.
Too fast.
Miss Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
Over here at the Avenue Market, kids stand in the same spot all day, every day. Whose responsibility is it for them to get off that corner?
The parents first and then the store owners.
I disagree. It's their job.
Donnie, we got SWAT hanging out over on Urban and Bel Air Road by the gym. Now they're not, you know, they're trying to engage the community and have conversations, but people coming out their doors seeing tactical fatigue police just hanging out every day.
It's tactical fatigue time. If I can't get my son not to stand on a corner, I leave it for the 5-0 and the CO.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. You're right. You're right. I'm not debating you on that. But you're so right.
To Ms. Gwen's point, like I'll tell you that one thing they do have established the framework for is that each district has community officers. They have a sergeant, and each sergeant should have a unit of 2 officers under him. So there's 3 designated community officers that their whole job is to bridge the relationship and repair the relationship with the community, engage the community in events and everything. But those units, number one, they'll get detailed often to other assignments. And so you have Officer Friendly, who's now stepping into a role where he has to arrest somebody, and then you want to put them back in the Officer Friendly role. That just ain't going to work, number one. Number two,
you'd have been over here many times, the Lawrence of Pennsylvania. What's going to clean that corner up?
Love, man. Love. Love.
And tactical, love and tactical presence.
Sometimes love looks tactical. I'll give you that. Absolutely. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done in love, right? You can't just show up. You can't show up like that and not love the people, because that's not going to happen.
There's some guys, some organizations that I've met recently that are walking the streets. The We Are Us crew. You know them, Donnie. They walk the streets. They talk to these young kids. I was down in Annapolis. You know, the program that they tell me we had a program here with the Baltimore City Police Department that is now in Annapolis and not here in Baltimore anymore, and is fully thriving in Annapolis. Captain Horn, remember Captain Horn? Yes.
Ron. Yes, sir, Brother Ron.
Okay, well, he's down in Annapolis doing some powerful stuff. Listen, I've sent a couple of people from Baltimore to Annapolis to their program. Ain't that something? So, so we need to tell our police chief, our new police chief, bring that daggone program back.
Well, let me
Ms. Gwen, I'm gonna be in. Listen, listen, Donnie, listen, when I'm going to be in that office, I'm going to be down headquarters on Thursday, and I'm going to preach that, because that's part of the problem. Commissioner Harrison cut. So when's the last time you heard defund the police? It's been a while. Because in my opinion, I don't know this, but Commissioner Harrison was hired to come in and get ahead of defund the police by cutting budgets. And what he did was he immediately cut budgets for the last 5 years and cut support to all our proactive policing programs. So that reentry program you talk about, valuable. One of my good brothers, my dear brothers, Earl Young, is doing great mentorship in the city and the schools.
Yes, I know Earl. Yeah.
Right, and he's part of that reentry program that we abandoned because it's a liability, according to the city hall. It's not worth the money, but if you know, that program, maybe crime didn't go down over the next 3 days in the 2-1 or next 30 days in 217. However, Earl Young is still proliferating positive, building up positive, strengthening positive young men in the community. So
yes, he is.
Nobody else,
yeah, so
nobody else prospered.
Yeah,
that alone was worth every effort. You know, we have multiple programs like that reentry program. I'm glad you speak to that, because Officer Horn did a fantastic job, and Chief Russell did a fantastic job building the community, and the brass and City Hall laughed at him like it was a joke, and they didn't support him. And then when they forced him to retire, when the new commissioner came in, because they ain't want no smoke, they cut all that stuff out. They still have framework, right? The officer, I think he's a detective now, Otis Daniels, runs the reentry program. But now basically, you know, he'll tell you, all I do is deliver letters. There's no real engagement. There's no real support. Same with the Explorers program. It's like a JROTC for the police. We're just now having conversations after 5 years of shutting it down, getting back to it, because it's a mandated line item in the consent decree. And so now Officer Ron Cromer has been taking lead on that conversation and showing them what it used to be. Yeah.
All of this is subterfuge. There's an election coming up, and who's going to win? It looks like Brandon Scott is running straight away with this race.
I don't know, man. I don't do politics. I do what's in front of me.
Everything we do is political.
I agree.
When you step out that door, everything you do before you step out that door, politics governs every aspect of your life, including these returning citizens and these people standing on the corners. The consent decree, all of that is politics.
And Donnie, guess what? Where does politics start with the vote? Who we put there?
I don't know about that no more.
Yeah, well, guess what? If we vote them in and we follow through and hold them accountable, it works.
On the show,
man, you caught me out on the street. I'm getting my look. All right, I'll put it out. Look. No, I agree with you, and I think to the point of returning citizens, like our system's built where we hope that they just go away, but they return. Our citizens, our people come home, and they come home traumatized, and they have needs.
Some of them did some trauma to other people while they were out here.
And guess what? And they were held accountable for that trauma, and they want to come back and make sure that others don't create trauma like that for other families. They want to reconcile with their victims. They want to have victims groups come together. Look, we are all about. Listen, we're not to say we didn't commit crimes. We're not to say we didn't do stuff against society. We're not to say we weren't supposed to be where you sent us. All we're saying is that some of us went there and we learned some stuff. We did what the system was supposed to do. We were rehabilitated, Donnie. We were rehabilitated. We changed our ways. We learned the repercussions of the things that we did. We realized the damage that we did. So we come home now. We want to participate in our community fully and engage in our community and do the things that ever community members do without any overhead over us about what I did 50 years ago or 30 years ago.
Okay.
I'm a new creature now. Remember this, Donnie. They thought I heard a saying the other day.
You're doing the takeover now. You're doing the takeover. Now look.
You know I will.
I know that's how they feel. I know that's how a person coming home feels. But they got to remember they did the violation. They did different. So maybe they got to wait a minute. They the one that got out of line and got in another line. So now that you ready, that's like a man dating a girl. So he finally get his act together and he go knocking on the door. I'm ready, I'm clean, I got flowers. And she like, please, how do I know this is the new you or the old you?
Look at my work.
And maybe she taking her time looking at his work. All I'm saying is, so now that you got yourself together, I gotta like hurry up. That's like the workers down at the municipal building. You ever go down there to pay a water bill? They come to the counter, what you want? I'm down there to pay my bill, and that bill help you keep a job. They like, what you want? You ever been down child support? They treat a black man like he just robbed a bank.
Well, that's whether you've been in. That's whether you've been in or out. So all we're saying is that the services that teach those same people, those same employees, some better customer service manners. Provide that kind of training, provide that kind of services, provide that stuff so that when these people come home, or when the ones that are already home, before they get these jobs, they have some on-job training, they have some apprenticeship programs, they have some internship programs available to them, so that when they go on these jobs that you say that they're not prepared, that they got people on that's not prepared to be on them, that we will have prepared people ready to go on those jobs.
So here's a lesson. Frederick Douglass said, let me get this one point in chat. Frederick Douglass said, it is better to build new people than to fix broken adults. So here's a lesson for our babies who are entering school for the first time at 5, 6, 7 years old. I heard a lady, Miss Gwen, say that she is afraid of her son. So let me just say, we got to get back to some basic parenting and correct these babies. I got a newborn. She just came out, new granddaughter. I'm into threatening them now. Threaten them while they're in the womb. Get up in their face now. Because all of that cute stuff and the baby dressing, baby 2 years old, you dressing her like she's 30, all that sassy stuff is coming back around to bite us in the butt. And we can't ask ourselves why. It's why, because we spoiled the child and spared the rod. So don't, when they get all new and sassy and talk to the hand, talk to the hand, talk to the hand, talk to the hand, I'll be like Bernie Mac. I will bust a kid up. Go tell your mother. Bring your mother too. You spare the rod, you spoil a child. They want, oh, little baby 2 years old with finger waves and all of that stuff. You're growing them up too fast. You should have whipped them. There, I said it. Oh, an older lady, friend of my mother, you can't hit little people. I will bust a little kid up. I'm like Bernie Mac. Bust a move. Bust a move. Looking me up and down. Yeah. I rest my case.
I have a son that's sitting in here saying, what do you say, Kevin? Yeah. He's sitting here saying, yeah, what Donnie is saying is right. We need to stop busting them up. He just busted my niece up, my granddaughter up yesterday.
Listen. These people say, oh, time out. Give Johnny time out. Your mother ain't give you no time out. Your mother say, go out back and pick a switch. Or you might have
Daddy.
My daddy said,
go
run the bath water and take my clothes off. You like, take my clothes off. I thought it was my clothes. And then you start realizing you about to get an ass whipping.
No, we had a weeping willow tree. A weeping willow tree all the way down. And you had to go down to the back of the yard to get your switch and come all the way back up. And take that switch in the house for your beating.
Little 3 and 4 year olds talking smack. And we celebrating them. Oh, they cute. They cute. Go ahead and say it, chat. And then we spent too much money. A little kid need a $200 belt. My mother wasn't buying, $200 belt. And she wasn't buying, gold tooth either. I asked her one time at 16, Ma, can I get a gold tooth? No, and that was it.
Me too, Daddy. My mother told me I better not come home. My girlfriends, look, we all went to the dentist. I was the only one came out with my regular teeth. So my mother would have knocked that gold right on out.
We don't have that no more. Big Mama is 32 years old. Miss Gwen, Big Mama, she a grandmother at 32. With a tattoo on her forehead.
Don't do that. Hey, what if you know how our kids?
I ain't knocking that. I'm just saying, but a lady with a tattoo on her forehead. Yeah. That throws me a little bit. I'm just going to tell you, it throws me a little bit.
When in school we make our kids do community service hours, right? Why don't we have the parents do some community service hours at the school and engage in the process?
Why don't you put prayer back in the school? See, it all started with some basic stuff. Some old liberal, with all due respect, chap, liberal white woman, talking about you're going to take prayer out to schools. You need to go find her and you need to whip her in the public square.
She was from Baltimore, too.
You got people who don't have children telling you how to raise your children. If you don't have children, don't come over here trying to tell me how to raise my children. Go sit your hind parts down. I wish
and
I
then
could.
Look,
it's good.
The art, look, when I was a kid, we used to do art class every day, sing every day. So we've removed arts from a lot of these programs too, so kids don't have no way to express themselves. And so it looks violent when they do.
And then we got violence all on television. We act like we don't know what Hollywood produces. We want to see violent movies. We're addicted to violence. All of us. You live in America, you gotta like violent movies. And it better be real.
We're even starting with the young kids with these video on their phones, giving them phones at 4 and 5 years old and letting them play these games. I looked over the shoulder of a kid the other day and he's shooting at people on the video games. He wasn't but 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting at people on the video games. Come on now, what we teaching them so that when they get 12 and 13, they're used to picking up a gun. So they see a gun, they go pick it up and they get mad at somebody, they shoot them. That's why we got it. It's too much going on. They're seeing too much.
And you notice it's worse when you see the boys on the corner fighting. You already know which one's going back to the house to grab a gun. It ain't rocket science.
The one to get the 2-piece to the eye.
Yup, the one got his feelings hurt. He don't take no time to breathe and respect what just happened. He run back to the house, comes back hour later, half hour later.
And the worst part about it is he don't know how to shoot, so he just take the gun and shoot. And the person he tried to shoot don't even get shot. And other people get shot.
That part. I'll say the last 4 or 5 families we've helped as chaplain who were victimized by gun violence, definitely 100%. The last 5 families we've reached out to and helped, they were not the intended target.
Correct.
A 4-year-old caught 3 to the head maybe a month ago. He was not the intended target. A 19-year-old father was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now there's a single undocumented mother raising her kids. He was not the intended target.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying. This is our city, so I guess it's going to be one step at a time. Chat, what you're doing, Donnie, what you're doing, what other organizations, what we all doing. It's just, we just got to keep on doing it and come together. When you're going down to see the mayor's office, when you're going.
Oh, I don't know that the mayor will honor that. He said he would, but I know the commissioner will Thursday. I want to say this too, though. We have programs in the city that are not run by the government that are, number one, creating safe places for our kids. So I can tell you thousands of kids every week who are not being victimized or being victims of gun violence because they're in programs like Mama Deborah's program. She has an acting program. The marching units, they keep hundreds of kids every night off the street. Our boxing gyms across the city, right?
Our karate clubs.
Thank you. The dojos, yeah. So there's all these spaces where they're not being counted as part of the gun violence reduction program, but the guys who are throwing perpetual conversations every week and cookouts, they're getting all the funding for gun violence reduction. So that's a conversation.
So look here, we're going to shift gears for a second, and we're going to invite to these studios, you have the whole community here, Dr. Tyrone Taborn. Glenn, I don't know if you ever met Dr. Taborn, but he is the author of this entire platform. So we are actually in what they call the metaverse. Now, Doc, I've been trying to get you to meet this lady, Gwen Levi, for a long time. She's been...
Oh, yes.
Tell them your story, Gwen.
Oh, God. Okay. Dr. Taborn, I've been trying to meet you for so long. I've heard so much about the work that you do here in our city. Donnie has told me so much. I've read a lot, but I'm a returning citizen. Look, we'll talk about me. Let's talk about how we can get together so we can really talk about what we need to be doing in our city.
Absolutely. You know what, very quickly, and I know, Donnie, I'm coming in a little bit late, so forgive me. I just saw the email and I completely forgot when you emailed me last night about the show. So please invite me back. But let me just say something very quickly. You know, the Black economy in America is one of the top 20 largest economies existing. But what separates us from all of the wealth, all of the knowledge, all of the money we have? It's called interrupted culture. And a culture is, a large part of a culture is land, property. You know, when you see other cultures come here, they're never totally interrupted from their original culture. They have families where they are, they have land where they have left, they have a connection to continue to build on. Enslavement interrupted our culture. We do not have a historical connection back to the land and the minerals and all of those things we can grow on. I say all of that because we have the brain power, we have the money as Blacks in America who came out of enslavement. So I want to be really clear about that. We have all of that, but what do we not have? We don't have land. We don't have a connection with the land. If you don't have connection with the land, all you will ever be is a high-tech worker or a high-tech consumer for the health system, the prison systems, on and on and on. That's all you ever can be because you have nothing to truly build on. STEM City USA gives us the land, gives us the missing piece that we've never had. That means that if we can't have it physically, we can have it in the digital world. And now that you can own something in the digital world, meaning because of blockchain technologies, we're able to create digital assets that we can exchange and we can own. Ownership, the ability to exchange, to create an economy. All of that is a result of something we did not have 6 years ago. So we have now built, and we are building an entire community called the Metaverse. Now, basically, you're going to ask me, what is the Metaverse? And let me tell you this. The Metaverse, first and foremost, is a community. And think about a community. What is a community? It's a place for us to nurture each other. It's a place for us to interact with each other. It's a place for us to exchange wealth with one another. Anything you do in the physical community is something you should be able to do in the metaverse. So a metaverse is any place other than the physical world in which your community connects. That's the easiest way I can describe it. It is any platform that exists that nurtures the definition of a community, but it cannot be in a physical space. It has to be in another space. And that then brings up discussions about digital twins and other kind of pieces there.
The biggest question I wanted to ask you, Doc, is how does this differentiate from Facebook?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, Facebook makes you a consumer. You're always giving your data to Facebook. You don't own anything. Facebook is a I mean, it's a good social media product, and that's what all of that stuff is social media. But you
we'll never own any of it.
Own anything in Facebook. You give Facebook everything. I mean, if you're airing this show right now and this show is on Facebook, you don't even know who your users are. You don't even know who watches that. You can't even download the people their emails. What you have given them, and it's a good business model. I'm not hating on Facebook or any of those guys, you know.
But that's just like me paying ground rent for something I already own.
Hey, listen, if nobody's charging you a penny, that means they're getting something from you. And what are they getting from you? They're getting the data of your users this morning. So let me give you the model. It doesn't matter if 3 people are listening to this program. It doesn't matter. So what Facebook can do is take 10,000 Donis from all over the world that are reaching Black people in this particular demographics based on what they already know, right? And they can bundle all of that. And then they can go to Walmart or anybody else and sell an ad for 1 million viewers. So you've created all of this content. You brought in these brilliant people to be on your show. You've produced the content. Facebook has never lifted a finger to produce the content. They let you do it. And then they take all of the Donis in the world and they put you together into one major package, and then they sell it to the advertiser. That's a brilliant market. I mean, that's what all of the social media companies do. Now, in STEM City USA, because you sit on the blockchain, we're able to deliver to you, your viewers and everybody else. You're able to sell your own advertising on STEM City. And check this out, you own forever your content. So that's just one small piece on the business side, but it's an important way of understanding what this is all about.
And so you're teaching us how to take control of our value.
Absolutely. I'm giving you the land. I'm giving you the land, the 40 acres that we were supposed to get that we never got.
So when you wrote this latest book, would you say that was the introduction of the metaverse to our community, to Black and brown peoples?
Yes. MetaQuake USA, my latest book, which has the most brilliant people who helped lay the foundation for this technology appear in the book. Yes, it was a way that I hope that we understand that the next greatest digital divide is on top of us right now.
Well, Doc, I just want to take this brief moment. This lady here, when you first put out the all call for returning citizens, I just want to reiterate that Gwen, in our brief time working together, she's been to New York, she's been to Annapolis, she's been to Atlanta. But can you just a word on the value of returning citizens? America has 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's inmates. And recidivism in our community is 70%. They sent this lady back to prison because she couldn't work a cell phone. They sent her back because she couldn't hit this one thing on here, and they sent her back.
Hey, listen, the next presidential, first of all,
fix your camera, Gwen. We can't see your face.
You can't see, you can see my face, right? First of all, Gwen, horrible. And I have all the empathy. And, I hope as a nation and as a community that we can never give you back time. Time is the most important thing any of us have, the most important resource. We can't give you back the time, but certainly I think that we can do a lot better in helping you enjoy the time that you do have. 4.6 million citizens are like Gwen and others. They're eligible to be able to vote, but they can't. And I will say that the next election is going to be decided in the metaverse. The last election, when Trump won, it was decided a large part through social media. That made a huge difference. So if I say that the next election can be won in the metaverse, I mean that. And all we have to do is look at history and see. So we've got a program, and Donnie, I love the fact that you were one of the first people to put up your hands. This is what we're trying to do in the metaverse. If you go to stemcityusa.com, we have a sign-up page for lawyers to donate pro bono time. So if a lawyer says, listen, I'm going to give you 20 hours, and we're going to put it in a metaverse. And then we're going to allocate all of those hours. Let's say we have 1 million hours from lawyers throughout the world. Lawyers throughout the world giving pro bono hours. Then we can say to Donnie, on your in the metaverse, I'm going to give you 100 hours, Donnie, for you to promote for returning citizens to get a free consultation from these hours that I'm giving you. And so a returning citizen can just go into the metaverse, book the time, meet with an attorney who will tell him or her how and what they should do. So now we're connecting resources in an easy way with those people who need resources. You know, when I came to Baltimore, Judge Billy Murphy brought me to Baltimore, and he was the original attorneys for Career Communication Group. And what Judge Murphy would say to me all the time, because we were right across the street from the state penitentiary, he would say, you know, 70% of the people locked up there could get out, but they don't have an attorney. And he said, and the judges know that. They just put them in there, and they could get out if they had an attorney, and they don't have an attorney. So imagine giving attorneys an easy way to give pro bono time. They can sit at their computer, and they only have to talk about one thing, how to get your voting rights back. That's all we want them to talk about. We don't want them to talk about you were pulled over illegally or any of that other stuff. No, we're picking one issue, getting people back their right to vote. 4.6 million people in the United States eligible. Now, Senator Larry Young is heading up as the chairman for this, and we've got people like Craig Thompson, and we have other folks who are now looking at this and getting excited to understand the power. Imagine if our platform can even get 500,000 people. You know, that is the turning point in the national election. And so that's what this platform can do. And it builds on people who are already doing these great programs as well. They don't have the technology platform that we're going to give all of these groups that are out there doing these fairs and expungement activity. We're going to give them the space. The National Action Network is coming on board for Baltimore. They will be able to have a platform on STEM City, and people can book through their digital space. So yeah, this is empowerment. This is digital empowerment.
Doc, I gotta ask you.
I just tell you, never get this through Facebook.
With only a few minutes, I gotta ask you about Baya coming back to Baltimore. How long has it been? Has it been like 15 years?
About 15 years. And, you know, we love the fact that we're coming back to Baltimore, over 10,000 plus people, plus all of the folks on the digital side. Millions of dollars we're bringing back to this city. And I hope that we can stay here. The community has been embracing us again, because people knew what we lost. Sometimes you don't know what you lose until you lose it. But it's been my commitment. I always wanted to come back to Baltimore, and Kathy Pugh made it happen. I mean, this contract, a conference this large, it takes years to get everything lined up. So Kathy Pugh made it happen along with Al Hutchison. They said, we're getting you back. LaRon Finney, very much involved in all of these folks. I can go down the line of everybody working in the background to get us back to Baltimore. So I hope we're here to stay. And you let me know. And by the way, hey, listen, I don't know, Donnie, maybe you can post the major article that was in Forbes magazine yesterday about the metaverse.
Yes.
Now, now stop and think about this. They actually did a good job. Think about this for a second. The nation's leading business magazine did a major article on what we're doing. Now, if you stop and think about it, and you really dig down, why would they do that? Because this is so huge, and no one's figured out quite what the metaverse will be. So they're giving, you know, I mean, now everybody out there has a roadmap and trying to decide how they're going to design and compete and create a metaverse. Now, either we as a community can embrace and work on this and so we can move forward, or I'll tell you, in a couple of years, it'll be this concept owned by everybody else but us.
So Dr. Taborn has been quoted in Forbes magazine as the mayor of STEM City, USA. Congratulations. That now you know, as you were talking, what came to my mind was how many mentees, and I'm one of them, how many media people got a part of their start or got their start at your company? Omar Muhammad comes to mind.
Yeah, I can think of so many great people out there. Keith Klinkscale. I can think of Bob Ingram.
Star pupils.
Yeah, these are great. I mean, you know, the one thing I love about Career Communications Group are all of the people who've come through the door, and they all had a social conscious when they came through the door. And even if as they moved on, they did not lose their social consciousness. They were good people before and they're good people after. And they still, you know, they still come to the conferences. You know, if you're with CCG, even if you get mad at me, and I mean, you know, you can, and people can, a boss, that's part of being a boss. You know, if everybody likes you, then you're not being a boss. Okay. But people still are part of the family. And I just love it how I run into people and they treat me. They say, look, because of you. And I said, oh, shit, I fired you. Right? But I think that was all right. But because of you, this is where I am. Tavis Mitchell over at Maryland Public Television. That brother is killing it, man, in the public area, you know, for public television. So we've got so many great people. What we don't have opportunity. And that's what I see. That's what I see all of this is about, Donnie, is creating opportunity. Now, you know, just because you're given opportunity doesn't mean you're going to do anything with it. And so many of us don't even understand or see the opportunity. When it's
I gotta shoot a name past you.
Go ahead.
Mario Armstrong.
Oh, he is just absolutely brilliant. Mario, I got to tell you, his mother-in-law has worked at her name is Anna Bertrand. She's worked at Career Communications Group for about 20-something years, to give you an idea how people stick around. Mario has an interesting story, by the way, and I'll try to abbreviate it. He was hooked up with somebody at Turner Broadcasting through Bea, and that helped him launch into his national media. And the person he was connected with was a Navy submarine officer called Hayes Fountain, who was working at Turner Broadcasting. And Hayes retired from the Navy. He went into broadcasting, and he was connected with Mario, and he helped Mario make some connections. Now, Mario was already great. He could already do this stuff, but it's about the connections. So what is Bea? Bea means becoming everything you are. That's what Bea is about. You know, it has Black Engineer of the Year, but no, the real heart of Bea is becoming everything you are. We are the crossroads of connection. You know, you should show up even if you want to find somebody to marry. You know, I mean, why would you not go to Bea or our Women of Color conference where you got the smartest doggone people on the planet?
That's what I wanted you to mention. We didn't plug the women.
Yeah, the Women of Color, right? I mean, I'm like, hey, you got the smartest women in the world coming to this event. Why would you not be? First of all, you will learn something, you will enrich your life, and you might find somebody special. Now, tell me the last time you found that at the disco.
So I'm glad you said that, because here in Baltimore, we are attracted to the glitz,
right,
to the shiny, to the entertainment. What we have not embraced, and this is where I'll stop. We haven't embraced the intellectual power. The lady just mentioned how we'll hand a 2-year-old the cell phone so the cell phone can be the babysitter. For the past 40 years, you have been working to close this digital divide so we can go in here to find the latest party, but we are not using this as you would like. You want us to own our data. You want us to use this to help empower our community, including the people coming home. How do you keep this vigor going despite the fact that we're chicken wings at a party?
Yeah, we're doing this right now with the metaverse. But let me, I don't want to blame the victim here, by the way. What I want to say is that the easiest way to keep people enslaved is to keep them stupid. I'm going to repeat that. The easiest way, the most important way to keep people oppressed and to keep them enslaved is to keep them stupid. It is not to the advantage of in a society where people are based on tiers, economic tiers. It's not in the advantage of the folks at the top for you to know what they know. So as long as we can keep people focused on something else, it's like 3-card Molly. You keep them looking at other things. So not only do we not want to teach kids, because it's not to the advantage of the economic system, for some people in the economic system. I mean, you need some smart people, but you don't need brilliant people. You don't need that one. You don't want that top 10% that owns the majority of the wealth in the world, right? I mean, you got to protect, you got to keep everybody down and fighting against each other for the crumbs. That's what you have to do. So not only are we not getting the kind of education we need in the school systems, but we're being actively taught to look at dumb things. It's not an accident we're being dumbed down. We're about to give, we spend more on sports. We give all of this activity, but you can't find educational programs on television.
We're buying Beyonce tickets for $1,000. I've never paid $1,000 to see anybody perform.
And then we make that a badge of honor, don't we, Donnie?
Yeah.
Then we put the people you see running around saying, "I got tickets for Beyonce." Well, hey, look, what about the stories of all of these young Black men and women who got accepted into college? Those are great stories too, right? I mean, what about, and that's why the Forbes article is so important. When you have smart people, they may not look at us. This was a writer. I don't think she was Black. I think she's white. I mean, people who understand it. You find your friends and your allies where they were. I was listening to somebody about the march in Washington, 60-year anniversary, the lawyer for Dr. Martin Luther King, and he kept saying, hey, look, 35% of those people there were white. And so for us to have any issues with the Asian community, the Indian community, the white community, for us not to understand that these are our allies as well, and instead of looking at them, at some of them, and having issues, that's what is wanted, for us to have issues.
Well, Doc, we're trying to overcome this segregation, and the metaverse is helping us to. How do we continue to do this? How do you continue to fight digital apartheid, even in Baltimore, which is known as the home of segregation?
Well, Donnie, you need to give me a lesson on that one later, okay? But I will say this. I will encourage everybody within earshot to go to stemcityusa.com. Why don't we just start with a baby step? Let's go to stemcityusa.com, play around with it, see how you like it. At some point, there's at the top, you can find resource room. If you want to bring your show to STEM City, if you want to host anything, just fill out the application. It's right under the Deloach Center. If you click at the top and you go down to Resource Center, just fill out those forms. If you're an attorney, fill out the volunteer hours list that's in there as well. So let's start with the little things, because as my grandma used to say, pennies add up to dollars.
Doc, I've gone back to Morgan State University. We're right up in there with Dr.
So proud of you. I saw that picture, by the way.
Dr. David Wilson. Any thoughts on Morgan State? You had your very dear friend, Dr. Eugene Deloach,
right,
you know, and the engineering school, but you have made engineering sexy.
Well, you know, it's how we tell the story, and because engineering is everything you touch. You like clean water?
Absolutely.
You need an engineer. You like driving across a bridge and you don't want that bridge to fall? Engineering. You know, if you need some particular medical pieces, that's a doctor, and there's an engineer doing some of those medical procedures. You don't want to get hurt when you go to the dentist, right? That's engineering. All of those things are tied together. You want to get on an airplane and not have it fall out of the sky. I mean, we saw that the other day. That's all engineering.
One last thing, Doc. We've seen you in some pictures with some serious heavyweights of just the past 3 months alone. I mean, we're liable to see you with an ambassador, with a president, with a CEO, male, female, black, white, Asian. Where do you meet these people?
I meet them in the places of their great interest, and people. I just have to tell you, it's called a trusted community, Donnie. And smart, caring, gifted people are really attached to one another. You want me to tell you who you are? I only need to look at two things. I need to look at your checkbook, and I need to look at your friends. And that tells me most of everything I need about you.
Good deal.
So, you know, these are folks who show up and who participate, and they want to be here.
Doc, thank you for taking the time out to join us. We know you're super busy. Any final thoughts?
No, but Gwen, you know, we're going to reconnect, okay?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Thank you, Donnie, for having me on your show. I really enjoy it. I missed you on the. I really wanted to be on the show when you were doing Morgan, you know, and I just missed it. I know you reached out to me to get me on the program, and I'm like, oh shucks. You know, I was a member of the Morgan Board of Regents for years. I was appointed by Governor O'Malley. So a lot of the stuff that I wanted to see happen at Morgan actually happened. You got a great president in David Wilson. Let me tell you. I mean, Earl Richardson, I thought was the greatest of all time, and now you've got David Wilson in there, who has taken what Earl did and taken it to another level. See, this is where we get mixed up too, by the way. David Wilson didn't replace Earl Richardson. Nobody can replace Earl Richardson. What David Wilson did was build on that legacy to create a greater institution. And, you know, so people were saying, well, he's not Earl Richardson. And, you know, no, he's not supposed to be Earl Richardson. Like, when I'm not here, you're not going to get another Tyrone Taborn. But I'll be lucky if I could get a Donnie Glover or somebody else who could come in and build on what I'm building on and taking it to a different level. And
identifying the next person from the next generation to carry it forward.
That's right. Exactly. All righty, my friend. Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Taborn.
I appreciate you to no end.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. All righty.
Good morning, world.